Hello everyone, welcome to Colorwalk, a brand new photography podcast created and produced by yours truly, Achilles. I am not an average, I guess maybe statistically average, but I'm an amateur photographer who enjoys taking photos. And I figured that it would be a cool premise for a show to go around, take photos of things that I find interesting, and narrating my internal thought process. It'd be great for me to help externalize all of the things that I'm thinking while getting a photo, to help me be more critical of certain aspects of my process. And it could also help others maybe get some insight not only into the things that I get right, but also the things that I get wrong. So I'm not just going to be showing all the bangers and sexy photos that I'm throwing out, but also the duds. And each episode, I think I will try to focus on maybe 3 to 5 scenes and try to get a few photos from each of them and just talk about how I feel about all of them. We're starting off with digital photography. Tragically, unfortunately, yes, I know. Boo, hiss. Listen, I'm too poor to be developing photography all the time. And to a certain extent, it's nice to get the immediate feedback of digital. Gives me more to comment on in the moment. Each episode, I think I'd like to focus on either a photographic element or technique, maybe a subject, just something to wrap the episode in. Could be literally anything. And for that, I'd love it if all of you listening could throw your ideas down below. Maybe you want to see an episode on framing, or an episode on different aspect ratios, subject like leaves, maybe water, or people, maybe a style of photography. You'd like to see more landscapes, portraiture. And as I keep making more episodes, I'll keep seeing how things progress and try to make each episode fun and interesting. So for today, I don't know what our theme will be. I think today is just new beginnings. I'm just going for a walk, and whatever I find interesting, I'll shoot. And I'll talk about whatever I find interesting. Lucky us, we seem to have positioned ourselves in front of a nice-looking photo. So, I have found here, let me take first a photo with my phone, more or less from the perspective that I liked it. This will be our first scene. We have a bench with a lamppost behind it and a tree behind the lamppost. And a tree, well, two kind of behind, technically. You look at the photo. I might point at them. So what interests me here is the strong divides or the strong shadows. It being nighttime, having such a bright light source so close to the tree, you're going to get those harsh shadows. And the bench being geometrical, I think, is quite appealing to look at because of that. So, I also think that the lamp being so close behind the bench would very likely give it a appealing position in the frame. So, let me get my camera out and let's line up the first photo. For this first shot, I think I want to try a vertical frame so that I can go in line with the lamp. And so I can get the bench at the bottom of the frame. I have a feeling that the tree in the back will be disruptive of the image, so let's see how that works out. Let's line up the shot. Nice. Let's check out this first photo. Way too dark. I've lately been getting into taking photos at night and leaving them decently underexposed in order to give a more eerie vibe, but I think the lights in the background and the top of the frame really feel pretty disruptive. I do like that tree in the background fading into the dark. I don't like the tree on the left. Let me see if I take it from the other side of the bench, if I get something better. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty promising. Let's go for this. might have done this one too dark. Exposure is always hard, especially if you're wanting to underexpose. And if you're reviewing on the little screen on the camera, because the screen isn't always accurate. It's also nighttime right now, so it's hard to tell. I'll take one more that's with a higher ISO. Okay, so important things to note about this new angle. I think the background is much cleaner, and even though we lose the nice fading tree, I think the simplicity of having fewer lights in the background and the ones that are there being much weaker is really good. I think also you may notice that I brought the bench higher up into the frame because I noticed that there is that patch of leaves on the ground there. And since I squatted a little bit to get a shallower angle, I was able to get a stronger reflection off of the leaves, and you get a nice texture there. So I wanted to give that space in the frame rather than cutting it off. And since they kind of go like, not necessarily left to right, but it's they go from like lower left of the screen to higher up to the right on the frame. And I think that contrasts pretty well with the line that you see from the yellow leaves in the background, and also the lines from the bench, and also the line. Oh my god! Sorry, I got scared of my dog. It's all good. Geez Louise, shit my pants. And also the line from the lamp. I seen this angle. Now, the tree that was fading before kind of looks good, so let me see if I can incorporate it into the frame. I don't want to stick around too much at each of these locations, in part because it's very easy to get hung up on a scene and just like, I gotta get the first photo, I gotta get this photo, I gotta get the best photo. But on the other hand, you don't want to be like, okay, one and done, because there are a lot of things that you wouldn't even have expected to find in the frame originally that you end up seeing when you work the shot a little bit. So I think for these, I want to get at, I think 5 photos is about generous enough. If I'm really into it, I'll go a little more, but I think I want to get a minimum of 5 shots playing around with something. So let's try bringing this tree here into the frame. And I'm going to move so that the smaller tree that was there in the background is no longer in the shot. So I'm moving really close to that line of the bench, so I can get a shallower angle and like cut that out of the shot, really. So let's see how it works. I think a horizontal frame would be better for this. I'll probably have to step back for a bit. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so inspecting this shot, the lamp pulls in too much focus into the photo, especially since it's smack dab in the middle. You can't really see the tree on the right as much as I was hoping for. The composition is it feels unbalanced. Just all the focus of the eye is going straight to the lamp. The bench is there, but it's not focused at all, so it feels kind of confusing, honestly. And all the dark space on the right of the frame feels unbalanced with all the like smaller lights and the leaves that you see on the left of the frame. Kind of an odd photo. Let me see if I can balance that out. Also, I think we're going to forego including the tree on the right side. Okay, what do we like here? This is better. I like that the lamp is along the 2/3, not for the sake of it, but the lines from the lamps in the background coming in are quite appealing. And them being, they are not parallel, but they look like they're converging to the same line that the line from the bench is. I like the color of the trees. Let me see if I can zoom in and check whether that's in focus or not. The bench seems to be in good focus. Yeah, some of the leaves look like they're in good focus. Not the super yellow ones in the back. But this is an appealing shot. You know, not nothing crazy, but it's homey. I like this. Let me see how many shots that was. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more shot and let's move along. What are we thinking? Let's get funky with it, honestly. Let's invert the whole thing. Let's put the lamp up first, bench behind, and I'll look to see what I can do from within the trees. So, back here, what do I find interesting? The lamp is shining. Seeing the back of the bench entirely lit up is actually quite nice. And I like the texture of the leaves down here. I think maybe if I can get a shot focusing on the texture of the concrete and the wood of the bench, contrasting the color of the leaves, I think that'd make for an interesting composition. So I'm going to take a second to walk around different angles, looking through the camera, and then seeing what kinds of compositions I can try to look for here. I'm happy with this. Okay, I'm going to try this one. So, let's line up the shot. Focus on the thingy. I'm going to take another photo focusing on the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to put these two photos side by side, and we're going to see how it looks. So, immediately you can see there's a minor framing difference between the two photos. With the first one, including the ridge on the left, I think I like the composition without that ridge on the left. It just looks cleaner, I think. Maybe it would look even cleaner if I cut out that left part entirely. Let's see what that looks like. Let's get back in here. I think I'm going to focus on the leaves. I'm using a 1.8 aperture right now, which means it's at this distance, it's almost impossible. It's basically impossible to get focus on both of them, so I do have to choose. I'm going to start with the concrete again, and then I'll go to the leaves, because I do like the texture of those leaves. I suspect... Okay, now let's review. Compositionally, the bench looks like it's the subject of the photo, so it's weird to have that blurred, or have that not in focus, and have the leaves in focus, unless it's for an explicit reason, which it's not. So I like this photo. Maybe after looking at it on my computer, I'll like it a lot more, because I'll be able to see the detail of the concrete on a larger screen better, along with the detail of the leaves. But for now, I think that's fine. I'm happy with those. So let's keep going on. It's just taking a little longer than I anticipated, so I think I'm just going to do one more scene after this today. I'll catch you then. Good news and bad news. Bad news, I don't want to do another scene. Good news means that I have to do less editing work, so the episode will come out faster and it'll be shorter. So, hopefully I'll be able to get this out soon, and I'll see you for the next video.